Welcome back, chums. My name is LastKnownMeal, and today CD Projekt Red has released a new patch for Cyberpunk 2077 patch 2.02. So today we're going to be going through the biggest changes and fixes they actually presented in the patch notes. Patch 2.02 is out right now for PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S, and I do believe on the Xbox it's going to be around 30 gigs, so well, start downloading now. When it comes to Phantom Liberty specific changes, this is what they said. They rebalanced the time limits for vehicle contracts. One of the biggest problems I actually experienced in the game and also other players is that when you go and actually do a vehicle boosting mission, sometimes throughout the mission you're going to get a call from Amar telling you that you have around 1 minute and 30 seconds to reach the actual goal, or well, to get the car to him. And the problem was that this timing for a lot of cases was simply not enough. But the difference is that even though you don't actually get the vehicle on time, I do believe before patch 2.02 you still kinda got the same rewards. So I'm kinda glad this is finally fixed, because now those car boosting missions are going to be a lot more enjoyable, and I also do hope there is a lot more variety, because lately I've been only getting specific type of missions when it comes to car boosting with only time trial. I wasn't even attacked by other gangers for a very long time while doing this. They also included various fixes for animations, lighting, scenes, VFX and more. They fixed collision issues in various locations that could cause players to get stuck, and when starting a new game and skipping ahead to Phantom Liberty, quests that were simulated as completed will now be visible in the journal. This wasn't actually present before. They also fixed an issue where Quadrasport R7 Vigilante wasn't available for purchase on the Autofixer website in some circumstances. I actually had this problem with my first playthrough through Phantom Liberty, where I thought that maybe there was something that I haven't finished, maybe a gig or a quest, but luckily this was fixed as well. They fixed an issue where roadblocks were present in front of the Dogtown gates, thus preventing entry. Also, Sasquatch's hammer will now appear in the vendor stock at the stadium's black market if it was originally missed after the boss fight with Sasquatch, so go and pick it up. Dex's body will now spawn in the landfill on saves where the option to skip ahead to Phantom Liberty was selected. And also it will now be possible to pick up Jackie's guns from the altar in El Coyote Coyo on saves where the option to skip ahead to Phantom Liberty was selected. Actually, this is a problem with some of the other weapons as well, where basically if you just start Phantom Liberty, they are going to be locked, so hopefully this is also going to be fixed. I'll check it out. They fixed an issue where a placeholder pop-up would be displayed on Xbox Series X and S instead of an error message regarding Phantom Liberty's installation. Addicted to Chaos Gig, they fixed an issue where it could become impossible to complete the quest if the stash is looted before receiving the message with the code. Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos Gig, they fixed an issue where under specific circumstances the quest could remain active even after failing it by not following the traces left by Songbird. This is very important. Firestarter, it will no longer be possible to disassemble the stadium security data shard after looting it from Hansen's body, thus preventing and actually blocking quest progression. And also Firestarter Gig, it will now be possible to pick up the Bald Eagle weapon after siding with Songbird. So basically, if you do side with Songbird, there is going to be a little time frame when those doors open up where Hansen is originally standing, so just wait for those doors to open, get inside, loot everything, and that's it. When it comes to Gig Roads to Redemption, they fixed an issue where the door leading to the stadium's weapons factory could be opened by accident earlier in Firestarter, which later interfered with Gig progression and could lock the player behind the door. Hi-Ho Silver Lining, they fixed an issue where objective Leave Heavy Hearts might not be marked complete after leaving Heavy Hearts. I've seen that phase before Gig. They fixed an issue where Go to the Vantage Point objective might not have been marked complete after reaching the Vantage Point. Moving Heat has also seen some changes. They fixed an issue where it wasn't possible to get into the car because it didn't spawn, and also they fixed an issue the quest could remain stuck on the Leave with the car objective even after getting in the car and leaving the area. Run This Town Gig has seen quite a few changes, so they fixed an issue where the Black Sapphire could become inaccessible because of the closed shutters if the players had trigger combat in the lobby at the end of You Know My Name. They fixed an issue where it wasn't possible to meet Mr. Hands in Heavy Hearts because the elevator was disabled, and they fixed an issue where the character menu and fast travel remained blocked after removing Aguilar's imprint. And also they fixed an issue where the journal incorrectly suggested that the player had to complete Gig Spy in the jungle to continue the quest when in fact Gig Heaviest of Hearts was required instead. Somewhat Damage has seen two fixes. First off, they fixed an issue where Cerberus wouldn't spawn until corridor chase scene if the player fired a weapon in a specific spot near Terminal Sierra. This bug is very specific, damn. And they removed the attribute check from doors when locked in the observation room and adjusted the objective to make it clearer that hiding from Cerberus is required to progress. Yeah, this is important. Spider and the Fly Gig. They fixed an issue where the boss fight with Chimera might not start. The Damned. They fixed an issue where the quest objective disappeared after meeting in the mod, thus blocking progress. The Killing Moon Gig. They fixed an issue where it was possible to trigger the police system while driving to the spaceport. Things done changed. They fixed an issue where the screen could go black after calling the nurse. Yes, this is also the issue I had in my second playthrough now a few days back, so I'm glad this is actually fixed. Tomorrow Never Knows. They fixed an issue where completing heroes made it impossible to ask Misty about tarot cards. And finally, New Person, Same Old Mistakes. They fixed an issue where the door to Bill's hot dog stand was still closed for some players in 2.01. I also do hope they fixed Aguilar mission where you're supposed to go into a certain area without actually revealing anything at the end of that gig where those doors are simply still closed. So I will be checking out with some of the people I know have that issue and will report back on it. When it comes to quests and open world changes, this was fixed. They fixed an issue where Quadra Type 66 Wingate wasn't visible in the call vehicle menu after being purchased. Johnny will no longer appear when collecting the reward for drama prior to completing Act 1, because if you do remember, when that happens, Johnny has a little comment, but that's about it. The Trauma Team website will now be accessible on V's computer when Killing in the Name quest is active. Beat on the Brett Arroyo. Fixed an issue where beating Buck while having micro generator cyberware equipped could block the completion of the quest. Wow. Gig We Have Your Wife. Fixed an issue where the gig might not start after approaching the quest area. Life During Wartime. They fixed an issue where Panem might not get on the motorcycle and ride to the gas station if we got theirs first. Path of Glory. We will no longer flatline after entering the Delamain AV. And Beast in Me fixed an issue where it wasn't possible to shoot from the vehicle during the race. Speaking of gameplay changes and fixes, they rebalanced the stats of some of the weapons based on player feedback. This is good because some of the weapons, honestly, especially when it comes to their damage, were simply not that good, especially if you're playing on very hard difficulty, and for a lot of cases it felt like enemies were kinda too bullet spongy even though they shouldn't be, so I'm glad this is finally done. And also the Malorian Arms 3516 received a buff. Recoil is easier to handle even at low stamina and damage was increased. I know this was heavily requested and yes, it's finally been buffed. Crafting specs for iconic weapons will now disappear after creating the item. They also added stats to the tooltip of Monovire that were missing. They fixed an issue where it was possible to duplicate junk items, so if you were doing this well after 2.02 you won't be able to do it anymore. And bullets now deal damage correctly when shooting through glass. They fixed an issue where it was possible to easily obtain tier 5 skill shards early in the game. Their prices have also been adjusted, good. They disabled the bait quick hack on enemies standing at the edge of an area they're not supposed to leave, and I'm okay. And they fixed an issue where the data recycler perk recovered the base RAM cost without taking RAM reduction perks into account, thus recovering more RAM that actually was spent. Fixed some specific instances where crowd NPCs could clip through vehicles while walking. Well, this has been kinda the case since the game came out. Fixed an issue that could cause elevators in various quests to spawn on an incorrect floor if save load was performed after they started moving. And they fixed an issue where the appearance of these hands in the first person perspective might not change correctly after installing or uninstalling ARM cyberware. And for the end, giving money to a homeless person will no longer lower your NCPD wanted level, so if you were doing this like I was, well, it's not going to be the case anymore. When it comes to PC specific changes, selecting default graphics settings should now pick the proper quick present based on your hardware and according to the latest system recommendations. This is good because if you actually did this before, like some of the settings were actually too high and they were not really giving you an optimal, how would I say, frame rate or performance. And this one is especially good because they introduced a mechanism for the detection of mismatched or corrupted scripts which are caused by outdated mods or file corruption during update and installation. It will now show a descriptive error message and close the game instead of resulting in a crash. I'm glad that this was handled correctly because sometimes people do crash and they have issues because of mods, especially right now. For example, if you had any mods whatsoever and 2.02 came out, well, you have to remove most of them because there is a high chance you're not gonna be able to start the game. When it comes to console specific changes, they increased the sev.dat internal buffer size to 15 megabytes without increasing the overall max file size, or well, max save size. And megabyte is actually a unit of measurement used in a computer data storage, if you were wondering. And also they refactored the saving process to not overwrite a save until we know that the data is valid. This helps prevent save corruption in case there is not enough space for saving, and hopefully this is going to be the end of save corruption on consoles, because honestly this is not something that is enjoyable or good at all, especially if you have a lot of save files and you have various characters that you are playing with. Actually, I do wish there was a better save management system when it comes to Cyberpunk, where you are able to properly select a character and then that character will have its own saves, and then it is how it is, and sadly it wasn't done that way. So hopefully in the future, in their next games, they consider doing it, because it's going to be a lot easier for you to, let's say you have multiple characters, select the character you want to play with, and then this specific characters has their own set of saves and that you made for it. So yeah. And for the end we have miscellaneous fixes and changes. They have various optimizations, performance improvements and crash fixes. They fixed an issue where some achievements or trophies could unlock after loading a pre-2.0 save on 2.01 despite not meeting the criteria for them. They fixed an issue where under specific circumstances a warning detected message could be displayed instead of completed when having your vehicle scanned or when connecting your personal link. They fixed an issue of the blinking trash that could sometimes be visible when crawling out of a landfill in playing for time. They fixed a misaligned glitch effect on Johnny. They fixed an issue where NPCs could appear stretched or, kind of going all over the place when it comes to ragdoll when affected by explosions or the savage sling ability. They fixed an issue where tooltip on the map and interaction prompts for renting apartments showed double the actual price. Okay. They blocked cross progression from uploading saves bigger than the max save size limit on console to prevent crashes and issues when importing such saves. So yeah, this is sadly the case. And they remastered the voiceover to improve audio quality in German, simplified Chinese and Japanese. So overall, my thoughts on the patch itself. I do think that a lot of it has been fixed in this one, especially when it comes to a lot of issues when it comes to gigs, because usually some of the gigs here were really causing some, progression being blocked and you were not able to continue with the story forward. I still do think that they're going to need at least maybe 2 more patches after this to kinda get everything in order and to polish everything properly, so I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. But tell me down below in the comments, what are your experiences overall when it comes to these changes? I am happy, when it comes generally to frame rate, that wasn't really fixed in this one, but to be honest, I also did not have any problems with frame rate after 2.01, which kinda handled all of those pockets of areas in Dogtown which were giving me those FPS drops. So chooms, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to, as I said, tell me down below what did you think about this patch, and if you have any problems which appear, just write them down below and I will be checking them out. And yeah, thank you again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button for more, and also check us out on Discord and Twitter. And also huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters. Stay classy chooms, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.